Hawkesby.
And I'm Eric Young. Tonight, an admission from police that they were wrong to send a taxi instead of a patrol car to the aid of a woman who's now been missing for more than a week.
Meanwhile, police step up their search for an Auckland businesswoman following the discovery of her abandoned car.
Fashion Week's turning heads and making news, but how good is it for our economy? We do the business with Vincent Heeringa.
Also tonight, Hugh Sunday has a good old rummage through the Fashion Week goodie bags and spills them wide open so we can check out all the free stuff.
And Sasha McNeil meets the top model who's back home and straight back onto the catwalk.
And a hot and steamy story involving some men, some women and a sauna competition. Auckland police admit they made a major mistake by not sending a patrol car when missing Auckland woman Irena Asher called for help, and their decision to send a taxi instead may have cost the 25-year-old woman her life.
We're being transparent and honest about it. We apologise. This should not have happened. It did happen.
A frank admission. When Irena Asher phoned police for help, they now admit they should never have sent a taxi that didn't even turn up.
There was enough in the 111 call for us to say we need to send a car. We didn't do it.
Irena Asher disappeared from Piha 10 days ago. Still no trace of her, but plenty of evidence to show how police got things horribly wrong. At 9 p.m. the night Irena disappeared, she phoned 111. The supervisor decided to send a taxi. When police phoned back to tell her, she said she may have been given drugs. A few minutes later, police phoned again to say the taxi was on its way. She told them she wanted police.
She went from a position of, yes, a taxi's fine. Yes. What about discount? Next time round, well, why are you sending a taxi? I want police.
Up to 5 staff from the Police Communications Centre may be disciplined over the matter, a debacle that's gone right to the top.
Do women in distress need to be screaming before police will come to protect them rather than send a taxi?
The Honourable George Hawkins.
Speaker, the police actually act on information they have. They make judgment calls. This time they made a very poor judgment call.
With 40,000 111 calls a month, police say sometimes taxis are appropriate, but this wasn't one of them.
I'm not here to make excuses.
No.
There aren't any. There's very few redeeming features about this.
The search for Irena continues. The chances of finding her alive now slim. Vicky Wilkinson-Baker, One News.
Meanwhile, the partner of a missing Auckland businesswoman says he's trying to remain positive as to her whereabouts. Darani Api-Romuluk was last seen by friends nearly 3 weeks ago. Police have stepped up their search for the 49-year-old after her car was found abandoned earlier today.
It's almost a week since Darani Api-Romuluk was reported missing by her boyfriend.
It is just as though she's really vanished. She's just gone.
The first sign something was wrong when Darani failed to pick Martin and his son up from Auckland Airport.
And the following morning I visited her flat, and it was reasonably apparent to me that nobody had been there for quite some days, and her front door was closed but unlocked, and a window to the flat was open.
Further inquiries revealed Darani's friends hadn't seen her since October the 3rd. Police have now put more officers on the case and are conducting forensic tests on Darani's car after it was found in an Epsom street around 20 kilometres from her Manarewa home.
We're particularly interested in any movements of that vehicle between the 3rd and the 16th of this month.
Police found no sign of a break-in at Darani's flat. However, her cell phone hasn't been used since she went missing.
What we do know is that she has a number of bank accounts, and we're trying to trace all those.
Police also know Darani owns at least 9 residential properties in South Auckland, 6 of which are rentals, and say that last week she missed a tenancy tribunal hearing in relation to a dispute with one of her tenants. Meanwhile, Martin Coogan continues to work with police, confident he'll see Darani again.
I hope that she's sitting next to a pool with a cold drink somewhere, oblivious to it all.
Torben Akel, One News.
At least 8 people are dead and 5 more missing after a fiery plane crash in the United States. Wreckage was strewn across nearly 2 kilometres when the American commuter plane crashed into woods on its approach to a Missouri airport. 2 people survived the crash and were taken to hospital. Officials say the last communication from the twin-engine plane didn't mention any problems. 15 people were on board. And the identity of a New Zealand woman killed in a Tanzanian road accident is yet to be released. At least 11 people were killed in the crash in which a tourist bus and a truck carrying onions collided near the town of Arusha. Foreign Affairs says no other New Zealanders were believed to be killed or injured, but it doesn't yet have all the details.
The makeup of Wellington City Council has finally been announced 12 days after voting finished. Wellington Mayor Kerry Prendergast sat beside her deputy Alex Shaw this evening to hear the official announcement. They'll both be returning to the council chamber. After almost a fortnight of waiting, Mr Shaw was unable to give the discredited STV system his wholehearted support. I have faith in democracy, shall we say that? Wellington has 3 new councillors from the 26 voted in.
The capital will be without an overnight accident and urgent medical centre from November the 1st, forcing patients to use the already stretched hospital emergency department. The privately run clinic says it's no longer financially viable to operate between 11 at night and 8 in the morning. Wellington Hospital says as a short-term solution, an extra doctor will be added to the overnight shift at its emergency department.
Well, general practice wants to see these services maintained. We don't want the patients to miss out, but we need the DHBs, and that may mean increased funding through the ministry or through the government to help general practice continue to provide these services.
The move follows the closure of Dunedin's overnight emergency clinic. New research shows there's a greater chance of detecting breast cancer if women have both a mammogram and an ultrasound scan. The 5-year study carried out by St Mark's Breast Centre in Auckland found that more symptoms were picked up when women had both tests.
10% of cancers in the breast don't show a mammogram. We can detect this 10% using the ultrasound in the screening situation.
Experts stress ultrasound shouldn't be used to replace mammograms. More research is now needed to find out which women benefit most from having both tests and whether it is cost-effective.
Now, Fashion Week isn't all champagne and hot air balloon rides. Well, maybe it is. The week is littered with complimentary glasses of bubbles and free makeovers. And, of course, if you're lucky enough to be invited to the catwalk shows, there are the goodie bags. But what's in the goodie bags? What do the fashion elite get for just turning up? Well, we thought we'd get to the bottom of them.
Check these goodies out. Goodie bags. For media like myself, the competition in design almost takes a back seat to the competition for freebies, and it's just as competitive.
I don't know, it's just a bizarre tradition. I don't know where it came from, but basically now fashion show's not a show without a goodie bag, and you've just got to try and stuff as much in as possible.
Like drinks, alcohol or otherwise, makeup samples, perfume, magazines, and some even give you items of clothing, like panties. But do they actually matter?
Oh, not really. I think it's a little bit of fun. It's some free sponsor, sponsoring and advertising for the people that like to put things in the goodie bags, and it's just become part of fashion, really.
There's a certain etiquette to it all as well, like don't open them as soon as you sit down, don't take a goodie bag from a previous show to another designer's show, and don't whinge when you realise you're not important.
But if you're worried about giving too much free stuff to people that don't matter, you can do what Tanya Carlson did. The people in the front row got plenty of stuff like this and a makeup bag. People in the next row back didn't get quite so much. And the third row, which is where me and Sasha McNeil were sitting, pretty much just get sweets.
So then, it's day 3 of Fashion Week, and this is how the goodie bags I've seen fare. Well contains 4 items of assorted toiletries, some fabric wash and a dress book and a car-sponsored DVD. Halewood has eyeshadow, a badge, some panties and a mini vodka. Nom D has a leather cuff, hair treatment, lip gloss and some shoe polish. Zambezi provides some hair daily repairer, eyeshadow, a singlet, some briefs and a pair of trouser socks. Catalyst comes with water, multi-minerals, a scarf, a brooch, skin relief, 2 chocolates, a post-it pad and a muesli bar. But Kate Sylvester impressed me most with not only a t-shirt, barbecue cookbook, water, hair products, lip conditioner and skincare, but everyone received a copy of the novel that inspired her collection.
Like I was reading it when I was starting to think about the range, and the whole range has been designed around this book, and one of the sisters wrote the book Love in a Cold Climate, which is the name of the range, and it was basically inspired by these 6 fantastic, beautiful, eccentric sisters.
Which will be a perfect read for when I'm at a loose end when Fashion Week ends tomorrow. Q Sunday, 1 News.
Was that just one of the other shows that Raven Can managed to scam his way into?
Spot the gatecrasher. Raven was invited to nothing, but made it to every show.
Got everywhere. Just ahead, time's about to run out for an Australian man on death row in Singapore.
And a diplomatic blunder mars the end of the Prime Minister's visit to India.
And we're at the tail end of Fashion Week, but we give you the heads up from tonight's shows.
Tomorrow on Headliners, Miranda Brown, Trelise Cooper and Workshop are the latest highlights from New Zealand Fashion Week.
And we meet a Kiwi designer who wears his heart on his sleeve. Join us at 5:30.
The Farmers Hot Summer Sale is here, starting off with 7 days of sizzling Labour Weekend savings. Save 30% on women's underwear by Jockey Woman, Bonds, Burley and Love Kylie. Save 20% on all men's jockey underwear and 20% on a huge range of women's clothing. There's 20% off a massive assortment of Chisel menswear, and you'll save 20% on cute character and branded children's wear. So come in and save with the Hot Summer Sale at Farmers, your store.
Dad, don't do it. Don't drive, Dad, please.
Darling, don't do it.
What are you doing, mate?
Oh, I'm okay. Sam, don't be a jerk.
Come get a cab with us, mate.
Son, your mother would really like to see you this weekend.
Don't do it, Sam.
My sister's driving past here soon. Don't do it, man.
My brother's cycling down the road. What are you doing?
So, how about I bring the final contract down tomorrow on the 9:05?
Going fishing.
11:40?
Catching fish.
4:55?
Gutting fish.
6:35?
Yeah, all right. I'll get my secretary to put that in the diary.
Celebrate the Barbecue Factory's 25th anniversary with great deals in store now.
The Hyundai Hurricane. It's one tough competitor.
King's Sale is on now with huge savings. King's Grass is just $2.99 each. Popular lavender plants 5 for $20 and King's Fuchsias 2 for only $5.
King's Grass, everything you need.
The Edge presents a new work for Sydney Dance Company, Underland. Don't miss Sydney Dance Company's Underland from 10th of November at the Aotea Centre, The Edge, for 5 shows only. Book now at Ticketek.
You're thinking everyone's thinking you look common and cheap, well you don't. Anyway, let's just keep politics out of it tonight. On religion. Are you Catholic? Never mind, I don't want to know it.
Hope for a generation, just beyond my reach, not beyond my sight. Hope for a generation, yeah. Hope for a generation. I see it singing, hope for a generation, yeah. Hope for a generation. I see it singing, hope for a generation. See it singing, hope.
Welcome back. An Australian man is facing the death penalty in Singapore after his appeal against a drug smuggling conviction was rejected. Nguyen Tuong Von's family was in court to hear his appeal dismissed by Singapore's highest court. He was found with almost 400 grams of heroin while in transit from Cambodia to Melbourne 2 years ago. The 24-year-old salesman's last chance to avoid execution is a presidential plea for clemency.
A diplomatic blunder over nuclear production has hijacked the last leg of the Prime Minister's state visit to India. Helen Clark's trade pitch to a major Indian manufacturing business was going well, but then came the claims the company was involved in manufacturing nuclear weapons.
A picture-perfect start to an otherwise innocuous trade pitch by Helen Clark in Delhi. A visit about creating both political and trade links.
Good morning. Welcome. It's a great honor to have you here.
But this visit to engineering giant Larsen & Toubro turned sour when a company spokesperson briefed the accompanying media contingent that Larsen & Toubro also built nuclear weapons. A nasty surprise for a Prime Minister planning to make New Zealand's opposition to such weapons part of her talks with her Indian counterpart. The company denied the claim, allegedly sacked the PR woman, leaving Helen Clark to explain.
I don't have any advice that's involved in nuclear weapons at all. It does have an involvement with the nuclear power industry, but that's not what we go to talk about.
The company admits it does manufacture missile launchers and was once on a US blacklist of companies involved in nuclear proliferation, but says it's since been cleared of involvement and off the list. Nukes were off the agenda during talks as well. The business delegation with Helen Clark claims potential deals with Indian companies could be worth millions to this country.
What I know is that if you're going to apply some kind of rule that because a company is involved in civil nuclear energy and because it's involved in missile systems, then there would be any range of great companies around the world which you could never visit.
While it's caused some embarrassment in Delhi, it's hardly created a ripple in Wellington. With the opposition focused on the Tamaheri controversy, it's red faces here they're looking for, rather than in India. Mark Sainsbury, One News.
John Tamaheri's future as a cabinet minister is looking less precarious, according to a One News Colmar Brunton poll. The poll shows voters don't want the MP to resign, but instead to wait for the results of an independent inquiry. That didn't stop Rodney Hyde trading verbal jabs with parliamentary colleagues over the alleged financial wrongdoings of Mr Tamaheri. Even the absent Prime Minister was drawn into the fray.
Does her lack of action in this case mean that she is simply waiting for her focus group reports and media clippings before deciding what is right and what is wrong?
Results from the poll found 82% backed John Tamaheri's move to stand down from Cabinet. Only 16% said he should resign immediately. The inquiry is expected to be completed in 3 weeks.
Now, if you like dressing up, there's obviously been a lot to get you going this week, but does all of this fashion sense actually do anything for our economy?
Well, joining us to hopefully answer that is our business expert, Vincent Herringer. Vincent, what have you figured out?
Well, I put my best tie on tonight for the occasion.
Is that your best work?
Yeah,
nice.
sometimes the best I could do.
Very nice.
Well, you know, I'm going along. I'm hoping to pick up a few tips. There was a report done about Fashion Week last time that said it added about $21 million to the New Zealand economy, which I thought was pretty good. Mm-hmm. But actually, the sausage skin industry exports 5 times as much as the apparel industry.
It's not sexy though, Vincent.
Well, actually, you know, you could probably fit some of those models into a sausage skin. But, you know, it's a minuscule industry in terms of financial returns compared to most of the other agricultural type exports we have. But you would make a mistake if you thought that meant nothing. Actually, it means at least 2 things that I can think of. One is that the new heroes, if you like, are the Colin Meads, I think, of today are the Karen Walkers. They're inspiring a whole generation of entrepreneurs and people who want to get into business and be creative. So there's a real contribution in an intangible sense like that, not a financial, but a kind of motivational contribution. And the other is that along with our wine industry, which is in financial terms also very small, our filmmaking industry, our design industry, all very small in financial terms, but far by in punching above their weight in a world sense and bringing quite a lot of credibility to New Zealand. So there is a contribution. It may not be financial just yet.
One industry that does mean a lot to our economy is the dairy industry. Just very, very briefly, what's Fonterra up to now?
Well, our biggest company is, if you like, it's catching on to some of this added value type idea. You know, we we export mostly commodity-type products, and Fonterra has a very small rival called Tātua, which is based in the Waikato, and Tātua has done very well at producing things called lactoferrin, which is a whey product. It's a protein that is used as a dietary supplement. Sells for $500 per kilo. Fonterra is finally starting to invest in this in lactoferrins, which is a very added value business. They're setting up a plant. They hope to really dominate that area. It's about time. Fonterra really needs to move into the added value area.
Good luck to them, and Vincent, it's always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks, Vincent. Well, the business of Fashion Week is all about getting our best designs offshore, but just sometimes it's about getting things back.
And this year, one of our most famous fashion exports came home. Now, you might not know the name, but you'll probably recognise the face, and for a while there in the 80s, Angela Dunn was one of the best in the business.
This is how it's done. And Angela Dunn should know. She's been around when it comes to catwalks: Paris, Milan, New York, London, and tonight modelling Helen Cherry in Auckland. Angela left New Zealand 15 years ago and got caught up in a big-haired, hedonistic scene.
The late 80s were definitely, yeah, it was full on. I mean, it was the high part of the whole supermodel era, you know, Christy, Linda, Naomi. You know, it was full on backstage at the shows, the champagne and the food and the free clothes and parties, and oh, definitely.
How did you find all that?
Well, it was fun, but you kind of, at the time, I didn't realise it was such a movement at the time. I was more sort of a few years later, or a year later, when you sort of look back on it and realised what a big part of the fashion movement it had been, in a way. Those girls in those days were like bigger than Hollywood actresses.
But life hasn't always been so glamorous.
Well, I was tall, gangly, pale. You know, boys never liked me. I mean, and all models say that. I think often that is the way. Somehow we just maybe grow into our faces as we get older. Yeah, but yeah, I wasn't like the cool-looking girl at school, that's for sure.
Now she's got a thing or two to show the young ones as a Fashion Week role model.
I taught a couple of the girls that are modelling this week how to walk, and most of the girls were younger girls that weren't doing the shows this week that wanted training for future castings and future shows coming up. But you know, the girls I've taught, the 3 or 4 girls I taught look great. I think they look great this week. They were good to start with, actually, those 3 or 4.
And more nurturing awaits when she goes home to London in a few days' time.
When I'm not working, I'm just in Notting Hill pushing my baby around to playgroup in his buggy with the food shopping on the back with my jeans and trainers. I mean, you know, I'm a normal mum lots of days of the week.
Sasha McNeil, One News.
A really, really stunning normal mum.
Yeah, about as normal as gorgeous gets. Coming up next, the word in your morning papers and some good news at last in the weather.
And school camp takes on a whole different meaning if you live in South Korea.
Mary? I thought we said we'd keep this.
This one's ours.
A surprise discovery and a surprise announcement.
Can't let this happen. I can't. How can I?
The final of William and Mary, 8:35 tomorrow on 1.
Nasty surprises. The building process can be full of them. So if you're thinking about building or renovating, best you give the team at Carter's Consulting a call. They can answer all the tricky questions like, do I need a plan? Do I need a permit? Where can I get ideas from? And how do I choose an architect or a builder? So for free, objective advice before you start your next project, call 0800 Building and have a chat to the team at Carter's Consulting. You and I.
Ignore these. My bank, your bank.
Lotto First Division has jackpotted to a massive $2 million.
Well, the jackpot's yours Saturday.
So grab your Lotto ticket today, because $2 million could be yours.
My father died young, and when I found out I had a cholesterol problem, I just thought, well, I'm not waiting around for it to happen to me. So I started using Flora Proactive, which actually reduced my cholesterol absorption. With Flora Proactive, my life is back in my control. Now I'm doing things I've been wanting to do for years.
Flora Proactive actively reduces cholesterol absorption.
your inbox out with Vodafone's new mobile email. Now you can get all your emails in full in New Zealand and around the world. It's real, it's simple, and Vodafone offer a choice of mobile email solutions to fit every business. Take your inbox out with mobile email. To find out more, talk to Vodafone and mobilise.
Get Tumons, the new mapping software that's sweeping the market. All New Zealand, any scale, from only $95. Choose add-ins for business, recreation, reference. Order or find out more at tumons.co.nz, the ultimate map of New Zealand.
No agents, no commission, save thousands. For a low one-off fee, HomeSell provides everything you need to sell your home privately. It's never been easier. For your free HomeSell info pack, call 0800 003 001 now and look out for the free HomeSell paper.
With a complete collection of menswear, Westfield's got fashion that is absolute style in any situation.
You're my ex-wife. In 10 minutes, you'll be my mother-in-law. In a week's time, you're going to be grandmother to my baby.
All right, don't remind me.
Cutting it. Tomorrow.
On the programme tomorrow, after a year of market highs, an investment advisor recommends caution in the coming year, and we meet this year's Entrepreneur of the Year. Join me at 6:30 tomorrow morning for ASB Business.
Welcome back. Two Kiwi cricketers, lucky to even be in Bangladesh, are tonight the only ones really keeping the Black Caps in the hunt in the first test. The first of them, James Franklin, joined an elite group of men to have taken a test hat-trick. He's also just the second Kiwi to grab one. With Munjaral first to go, followed in quick succession by Rafiq, but most impressively, Baisya.
Golden hat-trick for James Franklin.
Bangladesh all out for 177, leaving the second, Matthew Sinclair, a very late addition to the touring team, to rebuild his test career by anchoring a Kiwi innings which repeatedly faltered just when it was getting on top. Richardson, Fleming, Styrus and Astle all disappeared, but somehow Sinclair stayed. And stayed. But he too fell to Rafiq, just 24 runs short of what would have been his fourth test century. The latest score from Dhaka, the Black Caps 187 for 5, already 10 runs in front of the home side.
Short and pulled away.
Well, time now for our sizzling 60-second world wrap.
And if you don't want to see sweaty, bare-bottomed bodies, cover your eyes now. If you fancy it, meet the Lithuanian fans of the Russian-style sauna. They like to see how long they can sit in a bathhouse, beating themselves with birch tree branches in 80-degree heat. Well, the champ lasted 45 minutes and 22 seconds and says he'd have been in there longer if he hadn't picked up a cold.
You do. Now, this is the cool place to hang out at a fashionable Milan right now. Here, it's all on ice, and being Italian, this ice bar comes with a certain sense of style. They say, through wear and tear and the hot breath of customers, the structure doesn't last all that long. A good excuse to design a new one every 6 months.
Apparently learning English is a national obsession in South Korea. Now they've created their own English-style village to cater for this. And Eric, their grooming competition.
Good luck to them.
A week at the camp costs more than $500, with the emphasis here more on things like dining etiquette than actual English study.
OK. Let's have a look now at your morning papers. The New Zealand Herald leads with police admitting they made major mistakes in the handling of the case of missing model Irena Asher. And there's fresh fears for an Auckland property developer now that her abandoned car has been found.
The Don Post says the government is working on a radical plan to help poorer New Zealanders buy their first home, and it highlights one result down, 24 to go as the bumbling local body election vote counting continues.
The press also reports the police admitting errors in response to Irena Asher's distress call, and leaked documents show suspended Cabinet Minister John Tamaheri tried to influence the investigation into the accounts of the trust that he once headed.
The ODT welcomes a parliamentary inquiry into the local election fiasco, and a seriously ill toddler's been given a new lease of life after major surgery.
Those are your papers. Now here's Karen with the weather.
Hi there, it'll be a mostly fine day on the way tomorrow. Unfortunately, the settled weather's not going to last through the long weekend. Sunny skies for much of the South Island with not much wind, some slight frost in sheltered inland parts of Marlborough and Canterbury, cloudy periods in the west and south with a few showers about Fiordland and the south coast, a few splashes for the west coast during the afternoon. And it's looking good over the North Island after some light morning frost about the Central Plateau, Southern Hawke's Bay and Wairarapa. Sunny skies for most places, just a scattering of cloud here in the west and not much wind. So cloudy skies and a few showers for Invercargill, strong sou'wester there, sunny skies and lighter winds further north. A few showers for Greymouth and Hokitika, fine day out east, warm highs of 18 for Christchurch, 19 for Ashburton. The high provides lots of sunshine and not much wind from Blenheim through to Masterton, slight frost for inland Marlborough, lots of sunshine for this group after a cool night. South to southwest breezes and a high of 16 for everyone. Slight frost tonight for Southern Hawke's Bay, Wairarapa and the Central Plateau, but then a nice day tomorrow, just a few clouds for New Plymouth. A mix of fine and cloudy periods for Hamilton. Sunshine from Tokoroa to Whakatane, but it's going to be quite cold tonight. And mostly fine up here, just a few harmless clouds for Auckland and Kaitaia, mild highs between 17 and 19. On Friday, a fine day for most places, just a few showers in the far south. And on Saturday, rain develops in the west of the South Island during the afternoon or evening, and some rain is possible in the west of the North Island at night. And it looks like most places will get a few showers on Sunday.
That was Today, This is Tonight.
Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again tomorrow, but we'll leave you with highlights of this evening's shows from Fashion Week. Workshop, Helen Cherry, Trelise Cooper and Helen Talbot. Good night.
For a generation, just beyond my reach, not beyond my sight. Hope for a generation, hope for a generation. I'll see it singing, hope for a generation. I see it singing hope for a generation. See it singing hope for a generation. I 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 want to drip like honey from the honeybee. Walk from the river down to the sea. Fly through the face of a thunder cloud. Rain down on the people that won't allow. Not gonna let them keep me. Not gonna let them hold me. Not gonna let them tell me no.
Auction Squad, it's about solving problems. The most important thing to remember,
Little tip for you.
it makes a little area look big.